Hello, and welcome to Global Flight Adventures. My name is Alec. I'm one of the flight simulator instructors here, and today, this brief safety video will show you some key features of both simulators, the Cessna and the Boeing, as well as some safety features and just general features of the Flight Simulation Center. If you get here a little bit early, we have a nice waiting room for you available. You can see we have hand sanitizer and of course flight magazines for your leisure. So we have flight training delivered monthly, and then we have several books on the history of flight. We have another waiting room section right behind me, as well as light refreshments, coffee, water, milk, and sugar. And now let's move on to the Cessna simulator. This is the Cessna 172 simulator. The Cessna 172 is the most popular aircraft ever built. And you can see we have 180 degrees of vision surrounding the simulator. First things first, we can cover how to actually get into the simulator. Much like a car, if you have a normal seat here, you can adjust the back lever or the angle with this knob and just slide the seat forward and back. There's a bar in between where the legs would be. Lift it up, slide it forward and back, just like a car. Now, once you get into the simulator, please note both this simulator and the Boeing, they're both meant to be used very gently. So please don't force anything out of place. Don't apply excessive pressure. If you're trying to move something and it's not moving, chances are you're not quite doing it correctly. So we'll cover some key features here. Standard six-pack, just like the real airplane, and this simulator is configurable to other models, like a Mooney, a Cessna 182, a Baron, a Bonanza. All of these are possible. Key thing here, force feedback yoke. So if you move it, it'll give you some feedback and vibrate. Just like in any airplane, pull, nose comes up, push in, nose goes down, rotate left and right to roll the airplane left and right. You have pedals at your feet, rudder left and rudder right. Again, please be gentle with them. And then you have toe brakes as well. Covering some other controls, avionics stack here. Your instructor will show you how to use these. And then your engine controls. This is your throttle. Push it in to increase the speed of the engine, pull to decrease. Propeller changes the angle of the propeller, and that depends on the airplane. So you can make fine adjustments by twisting and coarse adjustments by pushing the knob and pushing and pulling. Same with the mixture. This controls the fuel to air ratio in the engine. Again, fine adjustments by twist, coarse adjustments by push and pull. Landing gear indicators right behind the yoke. This again depends on the airplane. To move it up, pull it out, up, and then back in. To move the gear down, pull it out, down, and then back in. And then you have some avionics switches on the left, and then a flap lever here, simple up and down. You have VATSIM available and your choice of scenery, wherever you want to go in the world, day or night, good weather, bad weather, it's all available for your customization. This is the Instructor Center. So as I mentioned earlier, everything about your flight is fully customizable. You can ask your instructor to change the time of day, your location, the weather, anything you're looking to do, just like in the real world, you can change it with the Instructor Center. After the flight, it tracks everything so we can analyze your flight even in real time. If you're a more advanced pilot and you're looking to practice real world scenarios, we have the option of simulating failures, anything from a light instrument failure to a full engine failure. We can do that here. If you buy the solo package that comes without an instructor, meaning you already know how to operate the simulator, you have some flight experience, we give you a link to an app to download beforehand where you can control the entirety of the simulator and the Instructor Center right from your phone in the cockpit seat. One more thing I want to mention, if you're a student pilot and you're looking to improve on your flight planning capabilities, we have some items that a student pilot wouldn't use over the course of his training. VFR navigation log, the Boston area sectional, and the E6B and flight plotter calculator. All of those can be used to practice as well. And of course, we have some literature for reading, everything from commercial aviation safety to more performance charts, the GPS supplements and more, all available right here. And now, welcome to the Boeing 737 NG simulator. This is the main simulator in the center. So the first thing we do is turn off the lights. Now, when you enter the simulator, you'll see curtains surrounding the simulator on both sides. It's really important that you don't touch these or go behind them because the projector system behind them is quite delicate. So we ask that you please remain away from the curtains and don't touch them. And notice as you get into the simulator, it's located on a platform, so mind your step. Again, the Boeing 737NG simulator is really state-of-the-art. It is a one-to-one replica of the actual Boeing 737NG cockpit. It is a full-scale simulator, and every button, knob, switch, lever moves just like it would in the real airplane and has the same effect in the simulator as it would in the real airplane. So this really is the real deal. As per the actual projection system, 4 projectors, 220-degree vision, high-definition video. In real time, of course, so anything you do in the simulator is represented outside on the screens. The first thing we do inside the simulator is adjust the seat. These are actual 737 seats, so you're going to feel just like what a real pilot felt in the actual airplane. And we adjust them with little levers on the right side of the seat for the captain where you'll be sitting. Your instructor will adjust these for you, but the main lever is this one. You'll see the seat is on rails. It slides to the right and front up towards the flight control system. So you pull the lever up, the seat slides forward, and you have an armrest that extends and lowers. And of course you can do all the reverse, and don't worry, the instructor will be doing all this for you. The seat can raise and lower. With the knob here, you need to be applying weight on it to lower it, and right now it's in the fully raised position. And now that we're actually in the airliner, you'll notice it looks a little bit more complicated than the Cessna, but the fundamental controls are still the same. This is your yoke. You'll see there's 2 of them here. They are linked, so anything I do on one is transferred to the other and vice versa. Just like in the Cessna. Pull it, the nose will come up. Push in, the nose will go down. Move the yoke to the left, the airplane will roll left. Move the yoke to the right, the airplane will roll to the right. Please note, the yoke has soft stops, meaning please don't pull the yoke past its stops. That runs the risk of breaking it. So if you pull the yoke all the way back, for example, feel it's not coming back anymore, don't apply any more pressure. That's the maximum it can go, and that applies for any direction. When you're on the ground, the flight controls don't do anything, just because there's no air going over them. So the way that we steer on the ground is with this tiller right here, and you'll notice it has a center position. Right now it's centered, and it is very, very sensitive, just like in the real airplane. So move it a little bit to the right, move it a little bit to the left, and that's it. You'll notice if you push it to its stop, it'll keep going, and that actually de-aligns the tiller. So again, remember, only a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, and that is all you need to steer this airplane on the ground. Moving towards the right and the center of the cockpit, this is your throttle quadrant. This is your gas pedal of the airplane. So you have 2 throttles, one for each engine. Move them up, engines accelerate. Move them back, engines slow down, just like in a car. These are your thrust reversers. These help you slow down during a landing. Remember, 2 clicks only, please. There's 1, there's 2, that's it. Keep them as such. To the left is the speed brake. These help you slow down when you're in the air. Don't just yank it back. Pull it up and above the notches. Down. Up, all the way back, down. Now your flap lever, same concept here. It's got grooves and it has little notches that you have to go under to prevent you from extending too many flaps at once unless you're doing it deliberately. Take the flap lever, pull it up, back, under the notch, up and back, under the notch, up and back, down. And to move in increments, you can just do up, forward, down, up, back, down. Don't just yank it past this, especially don't yank it out that way. Move it up and forward. On the sides, these are trim wheels. These help relieve control pressures. You can either spin them manually slowly, or more common, you have a yoke, a control with your thumb, or on the other side with your right thumb to move the trim wheels. Note that these are motorized, so be careful to not have your leg just standing here, as it can get hurt. So the way that you do that with your thumb, and your instructor will show you this, or back. So be sure to not have your leg, or if you have particularly long hair, make sure it's secured so it doesn't get caught in the trim wheel. These are all different electrical switches and radios in particular. We're not going to get into them today. Your instructor will show you them if needed. A couple of things to note here though, however, autopilot panel and everything in the sim in general, it's pretty fragile. And again, I want to stress, if you're applying movement to something and it's not doing what you expect it to, you're probably not doing it quite right. So instead of forcing something out of place, just ask your instructor. We'll be more than happy to show you. in particular is the gear lever. This lever raises and lowers the landing gear. You can't just move it up, please don't try to. Gentle force out, now push it up, gentle force in, and the same thing. Once you're in the air, you can go into the off position. Remember, out, move, then back in. And it's spring loaded to the in position. On the overhead panel, we have different types of switches. These are the switches that you can control in flight. The less important ones that are deemed less critical in flight, you can just move like a normal switch. The more important ones, for example, that doesn't just fly. So what you do have to do with these switches is pull them out, out, in, out, forward, in, etc. Again, if something's not going, you're probably not doing it right. Same thing with the engine start switches here. You can't just move them left and right, push them in, rotate, let go. In, rotate, let go. You have rudder pedals with your feet to control yaw movement in the air. You can notice you can push and pull your feet this way, so left foot forward, right foot forward with your feet on the floor. To move your rudder pedals, you have toe brakes again, so you can move the tops of your feet forward, and that'll activate the toe brake. Then right now the parking brake is off. To engage the parking brake, push your toe brakes all the way forward till the stop, pull the parking brake, and then release your toe brakes. And that's how you set the parking brake. To release the parking brake, just press on your toe brakes, it'll pop down by itself. We provide manuals, checklists, and charts here at the flight simulator. However, if you'd like to bring your own, not a problem, we can certainly work with that. Bring your own chart or tablet or electronic flight bag. We have courtesy lights available. Simply press the light on with a button, press it off, your instructor can show you how to do that as well. Now, when your flight is over and you're getting out of the simulator, reminder, your instructor will be assisting you throughout the process. The first thing we'll do, lift the armrest up and put it behind the seat. To move the seat forward and back, it has to be in the highest position. So you have to get yourself off of the seat to raise the seat. Please do not apply excessive force down on the panel, as that may actually disconnect and break it. So with your best of your ability, just stand up, take the seat, we'll raise it up for you, then you can put your weight back down on it, and we'll help you find the lever, move the seat back and to the left. Getting out, you have a little opening here. Reminder to not stand up and hit your head. And that's all there is to it.